One, two, three, let's go!
When in doubt, do it yourself. Not a motto I go by, but a motto that I came up with earlier. You see, I had already did this podcast. I had already gotten an hour and 10 minutes out of it. Like, I squeezed the life out of everything I had to talk about. But I ran into a slight issue, right? That issue was that I've been walking around with a microphone thinking that it was on, but it was not. So I made I was going to say a pretty big mistake, but I guess a pretty small mistake. Um, At first, I figured, okay, it must not be a problem. I'll just say in the beginning that, there's a little bit of an error with the audio. But then I remembered, I laid down. Like I was in like some little, hmm, I can't think right now, a counselor's office, right? On those little couch bed things. I laid down and I looked up at the ceiling and I was just rambling on with my phone at my feet. So I don't even know if I was even heard for like half of the video. So instead of sitting there trying to find out exactly where that was, because it was going to take too much time, I said, screw all that. I'm just going to redo it. Like, I can easily ramble on about the same things I rambled on with in the beginning. So, um, I don't remember everything I talked about, and I have the videos if I really needed to look through it, but that's a lot of work. So, what I'm going to do is just think off the top of my dome, like I did last time. And hopefully, I can at least get an hour, if not an hour and 10 minutes back again of me rambling on. For starters, this is going to be a little introduction, right? My name is David. Um, I'm a typically average person, hence the name typically average. This is not my first rodeo. Um, I've been doing YouTube for like ever, like since I was a little kid. Not consistently. When I was young, I posted like 6 videos, and I don't even know what email I used. Like that was like my first phone. Made a random email. Might not even have been my email. Could have been my sister's. Um, but who knows, right? Post those videos. They're just forever on the internet. I can never take those down. Um, but what I can do is keep going, right? So, there's that account. I have some other account, but I don't even know where that one is or if I even post anything to it. Then I have 2 more accounts that I know of that are like my actual accounts. And then now I have this account and one account that I kind of dropped. The other account was a couple of dudes, right? It was a podcast. It was my podcast with my best friend. And yeah, once every week, we would sit down and for at least 30 minutes, we would talk. And we did that for like a consecutive 6 months, right? Like we were really hyped for it. We were not always, not always into it. We were always a little awkward. But when we got down to it, we were like really engaged in our conversations. We had fun. It was a blast. And like I will listen to some of those because some of those are really interesting to me. Like I liked that we were so energetic, right? Towards the end there, we kind of fell off. Not fell off because we didn't have any. When I say fell off, I mean like we personally just didn't have the energy we had, right? Like we were starting to die down, and then we stopped, because we never had an audience yet, and we still don't have an audience yet. Um, but yeah, so that's what happened there. Um, yeah, after that, we stayed down for like probably 6 months, and then we were going to pick it up at the beginning of this year, because at the beginning of last year is when we started it, like right on January 1st or something like that. And sorry, my throat is like killing me, so I'm gonna take a drink of this Voltage Mountain Dew. Yep, refreshing, but not refreshing enough apparently. Where did I just leave off? Man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. So we started in the beginning of 2023, and we got about halfway through summer before we stopped. And towards the end, though, like the last 2 to 4, I think it's just 2, maybe 3. Last 3 episodes, we didn't have our faces in it. We weren't even together when we made those videos. We just called through Discord and recorded the call. And I used that footage, or not footage, that audio over some mobile gameplay footage of like Asphalt 9, I think. It was fun, right? We did our thing, but it was more work than what we were doing before, and I felt like it would have just been better to just do it in person, so we should just stop doing it altogether. And we were gonna pick it back up, right? Because I was like, man, hey, but we haven't done it in a while. We kind of just let it go. I don't know what happened there, but like, we should pick it up, and he agreed we should pick it up. So around the beginning of this year, we sat down and we didn't even get 10 minutes in before we gave up and just we just weren't feeling it. We weren't vibing. We didn't have the energy for it. I couldn't tell you what happened. I couldn't tell you why we fumbled our bag on the second attempt. Because I mean, before that, we spent probably about a month working on a new logo, trying to come up with a new name. Because we didn't. Well, what happened, right? The first time we did the same process, right? We were trying to think of what's a cool name for a podcast, and we ended up settling on a couple of dudes, right? Because we're just a couple of dudes. That's all we were, and we settled on it. But when we dropped it, about within the same month, some other channel popped up with the same name that was also a podcast. It was a couple of dudes podcast. So I don't think they even knew of us, right? Like, there's no way. It just had to be a coincidence. But they, same name, um, same thing, a podcast, and they started uploading, getting more views than us, which really made me upset. I was like, bro, how did they get more views using the same name? Like, I swear it was because of us, bro. Like, we definitely gave them the credibility. No, but and then they dropped, and I don't actually know if they're still posting or not. I'm gonna check while I keep talking. But so went through the same process, and we were gonna do a couple of dudes again to take that name back, but we left that alone. We're like, no, they can just keep that, and so we came up with the new name, and it was the Podestrians, because I noticed that some podcasts like to put a pun in their name, kind of for engagement reasons. Like, it's like, oh, this podcast is punny. I don't know. So we're pedestrians, right? So how do you make that a little pun, right? The pedestrians, right? Because podcast, you get it. I know you got it. But yeah, so that's what we did. And like I said, we didn't even get 10 minutes into it before dropping it. So I went ahead and I started streaming under the name Typically Average. And I still stream under the name Typically Average. And just recently, I decided to make the full switch, right? Like, we had an Instagram account that we made that stayed a couple of dudes for the longest time. The TikTok was the Pedestrians. The Twitch channel was Typically Average. So I just had all these names just laying around. So I decided I need to make one switch for all of them to be on the one thing. So I went through, I changed all the handles that I could to the same name, and now I am on all platforms. Not all platforms, all the platforms that I'm on, though, Typically Average. So, yeah, here I am. The biggest changes. When we first did the podcast, we met once a week and we made at least a 30-minute video, right? We always aimed for that 30-minute mark. Then, after that died down, when we were going to start it back up, our goal before we even did the 10 minutes thing was 1 hour every 2 weeks. That way it's the same time, but gives us more preparation time to go ahead and get them some. I stutter a lot. Okay, that's my thing. Like, I'm a nervous talker. That's why I'm not recording my face, because I don't have anybody sitting across from me and I can't talk to a camera. But getting that out of the way, what did I just say? I don't even know. Well, it's crazy because I should know. Right. Oh, right. We were going to do it uh, for 1 hour every other week because we struggled to get topics in time for the week. Like, we had like 3 days, 4 days to prepare, right? We couldn't find topics in 3 to 4 days. Like, I don't know, maybe we just weren't looking hard enough. Maybe we just didn't find anything interesting. But we would come 3 or 4 days later sit down, record, and then I'd take like a day or two to edit because I had to work around work. So I had to make sure that I had enough time to edit the video and get it posted by the specific date because we had a set date. That was issue number one. So when we're going to do it again, we're going to say, okay, we got 2 days a month, right? Like the 1st and the 15th or something like that. So we already know the day. So we can record whenever we want, just as long as you get a video posted on that day. And that was going to be perfect, right? We could record right after. We could record 3 days after, 4 days after, 5 days after, right? Just when we got topics. But like I said, we didn't even get 10 minutes in before just giving up because we just did not have the energy. And so I came up with the idea that maybe we shouldn't put a schedule on this thing. Maybe we should just wait until we're ready, wait till we have at least 3 or 4 topics each, and then sit down for an hour. And then that's how we were going to do it. And then we never did that. So I was going to this weekend, but he was busy. Our co-star backup, my nephew, he was also busy. So yeah, it's just me now. I had nothing to do today, which is why I already wasted an hour of my day recording that. But you know what? It's okay because it was fun. I genuinely had fun. It was a good time. Even if nobody listens to it, at least I didn't mope around all day, right? Like I didn't necessarily waste my day. I did something I enjoyed. And so for that, I think it was good. I think it was worth it. I didn't even look up the channel. My fault. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, is this them? No. I mean, it could be. That's not the right one. This is it, isn't it? Yeah. So they haven't even posted, just like we haven't. It seems like theirs is about football, though. So we were a little different. We didn't have any set topics. They seemed to talk about just football. But anyways, so yeah, here I am, one man show. Occasionally, I plan to still have my friend join in on some episodes and my nephew join in on some episodes. But from now on, I'm okay with doing it solo just because I am still very passionate about doing the podcast, regardless of whether or not I have somebody to do it with. Before, I did not want to do it alone because I had no idea what I was up against, right? I did not have any expertise talking into a microphone, right? And so I sat down with him and we just talked. And it was fun. It was good, you know. It was my way of being able to express myself and have an excuse for it, right? I was able to just talk about whatever I felt like talking about, and I had one excuse for that, and that was the podcast. And so I'm going to still use that same logic right now, is I can express myself through the podcast because I have the excuse of the podcast. Um, I'm trying to remember all the things I talked about without jumping in anything. And one thing was why we did the podcast. My inspiration was The Basement Yard and The Freddy Show. I'd been watching The Basement Yard for years, and I always find it fun. I always find it engaging. I'm always listening to the jokes, laughing at the jokes. And the thing for me is, when it comes to a YouTube video, I can sit down, I can laugh, but at the end of the day, I just know it's a YouTube video. Like they're talking to a large audience. But for some reason, when I sit down and I'm listening to a podcast or watching a podcast, I feel like I'm included into this conversation. Even though I can't speak to them, I feel like I'm sitting right there between two friends going on, and I'm just in the room enjoying it, right? Like I'm third wheeling or something, but like in a good way. And it's fun, it's interesting, it's engaging. And I can't tell you why I feel that way as opposed to the same for a YouTube video. But yeah, so those were my biggest inspirations for being a podcaster. I mean, I got other inspirations for being a YouTuber and being a streamer, but that's later down the road because like I'm not famous or anything. Like I have no audience, no following, nothing, right? I'm bare bones starting out. I don't even got really friends to tell about this. Like, I can't really boost this stuff. Like, I don't know. It'll just have to blow up one day and I'll have to just get lucky. But yeah, so our goal, me and my friend, when we started the podcast, was we never planned to monetize it, right? We always hoped that we would blow up, but we never planned to make even a penny off of the podcast. Now, I'd be lying if I said we did not want to make money off of doing this, but we didn't want to make money from the podcast. Because the podcast was just something for us, right? Something that we wanted to do to have fun. So our workaround was, okay, we make YouTube videos as well. We find something funny to talk about and we save it for a YouTube video. Maybe it's a reaction, maybe it's a review, whatever it'll be. And we'll monetize our YouTube videos so that way the podcasts don't have to be monetized. Because essentially, I do plan to make this like a job, right? Like, I want this to be my career. So I can go home, make some videos, edit some videos, throw some videos up, and then for a little bit of fun, have the podcast, right? And that is still my plan, right? Keep the podcast free. And if I ever make YouTube videos, if I ever get famous enough, I will monetize those. And that's it. That's all I wanted to do. I don't know. I feel like it's weird doing something just for the sake of money, right? Which kind of sounds hypocritical because I just said I want to do YouTube for money, but not because I don't want to do YouTube otherwise. Like, I post gaming videos just because it's fun. I mean, the games that I post aren't games that I would typically play. So, is it still on? Yeah, I had to check. But, nah, like, I'd just be lying if I said that I didn't do this for money also. Um, Obviously, I'm doing this for money, but I'm doing this for myself. The YouTube thing. The YouTube thing is because I grew up with YouTube. Since I got my first phone at like 11 years old. Okay, that's kind of a lie, but kind of true at the same time. I think my first touchscreen phone is at like 11. I'm not that old, by the way. Like, I know I sound crazy. I never had a touchscreen phone. I guess I was too young or whatever. I don't know. But when I finally got one, it was a hand me down from my sister. Um, and so the first thing I did was watch a ton of random YouTube videos. Like, I was probably watching the stupidest videos. I couldn't tell you. But something about one video, um, they were like Lego people versus people with Nerf guns. And I loved those videos. I watched like every single one that was posted on YouTube, even if it wasn't by the same people. And it got me into stop motion, which is crazy because I didn't even know it was called stop motion. I was just doing something that I thought was right. And somehow, by some slim chance, I actually did it. Like, I made a little Lego guy move and I didn't even know it was stop motion. I just thought it was a little prank. And so I scared my nephews with it because they thought the Legos were alive because, little kids were easily fooled. Um, but yeah, that was like the very first thing I did was post Lego guys fighting and then me fighting the Legos. And it's corny, it's cringy, and I wish I could erase it from the internet, but I can't. And that's okay because I can watch them and they're fun. And as long as they don't magically pop up out of nowhere, which won't happen unless I magically pop up out of nowhere and become famous and somebody does a deep dive on me and finds it, which please don't. Okay, like, those are embarrassing. Those are like really embarrassing, and I don't want the world to see that. That was a big gulp. Jeez. Anyways, I feel like I'm getting off topic here. I don't know where I started, so I can't really end where I left off. Hopefully, I'm making sense. Rapid fire of what I just said. Started a podcast, fell off, tried again, didn't work. So here I am, take 3, doing it solo, changing everything. We went from a 2-man channel to a 1-man channel with 2 guests. So I mean, because it was originally me and him. Then I brought my nephew in to be like a step in. And there's actually a full episode where I did with just him, and there's an episode where I did with just the 3 of us. Um, So it went from two podcasters with one occasional guest appearance, I guess you can call him, even though he's not like famous or whatever, to one host and two guest appearances. That wasn't because I don't want to do a podcast with my friend. Um, it's just he's actually got a life now. Not that he didn't have one before, but it's like he's actually got a life now, and it's crazy. Like it makes me feel like a bum. Because before, we were like bums together. It was cool. But like now he's always busy, so it's just hard to work around him, and I can't always be on his time. So sometimes I'm gonna have to do it alone, and I'm gonna have to be okay with that. And so here I am doing it alone. And so I figured, well, then I might as well make the branding about me, right? So before, it was a cheap little drawing that I did on my iPad in like 30 minutes, which is really embarrassing to say, but I was trying to get it to look good. It was two little heads with some arms, and it was me and him, and it was the logo that I got now. But I drew everything. This time I went ahead and upgraded the logo to just me in the middle. Um, and I made a new banner. So yeah, and then I think I said this, but if I didn't, I changed all my socials into one account. So that was fun. So my Instagram, uh, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube are all the same name, typically average. Two of them are typically average 03. Two of them are typically average. Well, actually, the Instagram is typically average official, but you get the idea. They're all relatively the same. So yeah, here I go. Here's to rebranding, guys. I did it. Now, to talk about some things that I wanted to talk about. I was originally gonna have like something from the news to talk about because there's like two things that might be interesting to talk about. One of them is more devastating, and I'd rather not have the first episode be devastating. So instead, I want to talk about two main topics for this episode. Topic number one, a superhero story that I created. And topic number two, a game platform that I think is heavily underrated and overhated. So let's jump into topic number one, right? Superheroes. We all love them. We all make our own at some point in life. Sometimes we even make our own versions of heroes that we love, that we love, or we put ourselves in the same position, essentially replacing the heroes that we love. So somebody might put themselves in Iron Man's shoes, right? It's not Tony Stark, it's whatever their name is with their Iron Man. I've done that before. Um, Same with Spider-Man, Batman, right? Superman, all the big league heroes, right? Everybody's probably done it at least once. Taking another drink. Um. So yeah, superheroes, right? We all done it. Although some people have went above and beyond, right? They've made entirely new characters. Could be a sidekick. Could be an alternate version. With the multiverse being a huge thing right now, it's not far out of the possibility to believe that somebody's done that, and plenty of people have done it. At least for Spider-Man, that I know of. In the podcast before the Couple of Dudes podcast, me and my buddy, we sat down and we talked, and we started talking about the Flash, about how it's just inconsistent and how the character deserves some real justice, right? He deserves justice. How did we get justice for this character? Well, we went ahead and we rewrote his story, and we were just rambling on back and forth. Like, honestly, you have to kind of be in our heads to make it make sense. But I feel like if you were to listen to it, you'd probably be like, "Huh, this doesn't really make sense." But hey, if you want to go listen to it and try to make sense of it, be my guest. Please go listen to it. No, you don't have to listen to it, but that was our first long episode. That was like over an hour. We just called it our Easter special, which I guess this video would technically be an Easter special. That's crazy. Wow, that's actually really crazy. Anyways, um, So yeah, I went ahead, talked about the Flash. We ended up going off topic and we ended up making our own Justice League. That was kind of fun. So when I got my iPad, um, I drew the Justice League. Now, let me just say this: I'm no artist, okay? I cannot draw, but I can trace. Okay, I'm a not to brag or anything, but I'm a really good tracer, bro. You give me something to trace, and I got you. So I did that, um, a bunch. I did it a bunch, and I made some superheroes, made some designs. Well, I didn't make designs. I kind of just ripped the superhero designs. I was just wanting to draw on an iPad though, so I mean, hey, it was fun. But after that, then I went ahead and decided, you know what, this isn't this isn't cool enough for me. So I then, not on the podcast, like this is like on my own time, changed the designs of the characters for the Justice League, as well as changed who's on the Justice League. And I did this multiple times. So I'm at my final edition of the Justice League. I have my own superhero team made with DC characters. And yeah, so I drew like near 100 characters now. Might just be 70, but I'm going to say near 100 anyway. Um 70 characters, some new, some not. So I got a lot of DC superheroes, right? And that's it. I got mostly DC heroes and a few DC villains, and I got a list of other villains that I want to create as well to for this universe. But I've got a few original heroes, and then I've got a ton of original villains. And by original, I don't mean like this character has never been thought of. I'm sure somebody's thought of it or a similar design. I know some of my designs were inspired by some things, and a lot of my designs are similar to each other. So you can say my originality is not there, right? My creativity is a little on the low end, but for the most part, the characters are unique in some way. Um, and so I pride myself in that. I made a superhero universe within a universe. Now I planned, and I still plan to make a story out of this because I gave like at least a quarter of the characters that I drew fleshed out backstories, right? They have their whole backstory, how they got the powers, why, or maybe they don't even have powers; they're just another creature, right? And so like I got all these stories for this one character, right? Because all these characters are going to conflict with this one character. And so this is a huge story, right? And I want to, but I'm not an animator. Let me just get that out the way real quick. I'm not an animator and I'm not good at drawing, so I can never make a comic and I can never make an animated mini series like for YouTube or whatever. But the plan is to just draw a character, make a video, tell the story, and post it, right? And I still plan to do that, tell a story through like a podcast series kind of thing, like a separate series from the main podcast, which would be the like Arachnoverse, because that's his name, Arachno. Um, I'll throw him up on the screen real quick. His final form. And by final form, I just mean like the final design that I have as of right now. He's went through multiple design changes. Oh, like all the other characters. I don't know, man. I start thinking. Make sure the mic's on. Start thinking. I get curious, and yeah, I just go with the flow, and I make new designs. And so I'm at my final design, and so yeah, it was fun making all the characters. I'm still making characters. It's a lot of work though, and I come up with characters faster than I come up with backstories. So I got plenty of characters that need stories, and a lot of the DC characters as well. I have to learn about some of them. For example, Batman. Uh, elephant in the room, right? Batman. Everybody knows that Batman is like this all powerful dude, right? So if I were to make an alternate Batman with an alternate suit, I already have one person who's like a big time hater of my Batman because they don't like the suit design, and I got one person who thinks it's pretty cool suit design, and then I have me who thinks it's an amazing, super cool suit design, right? That's why I drew it that way. But the person that doesn't really like it is because they think it's like it's not my Batman though. Like that is not who Batman is. So I had to think about that. And when I thought about that, I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. This isn't your Batman. He's not the same Batman. He needs a new story. So I went ahead and I changed his entire backstory, which some people will probably say sucks, but it's okay because I guess it's not okay. I kind of pulled an MCU, uh, like how, like, I don't want to spoil anything if I decide to go through with it, but if I go through it, you'll see what I mean. If later on in the world I decide I'm not going to do it, and this question resurfaces of the character, then I'll bring it back up and I'll talk about it. But anyways, so he's got a huge backstory change. And so I plan on doing that with all my DC characters that I created, a huge backstory change. I even have some characters that are gender swaps. So like, or I guess not gender swaps, but anyway, some of them are gender swaps, some of them are just character swaps. But anyways, I'm content with the heroes I chose. I'm content with the villains I chose. I changed some of the villains' backstories as well. Um, I'm changing all of them, by the way. I just haven't gotten around to all of them yet. And as well for the original characters, they're getting their backstories. The reason they don't all have backstories is because when I started creating characters, I never thought I would go this deep into it. So I was just making characters left and right for like the looks of it. But more recently, I've been drawing characters, and while I'm drawing them, I'm thinking, okay, what is this character like? What is their abilities? What could their story be? And then I shape that. Sorry for the X. I don't know what that was, but I shaped that information into the suit, so that way it kind of fits the character. But then when I do that, I start realizing how many characters I really left without a backstory. And so I'm trying to run through their character and try to make a story around a design. And that's almost a little harder for me because making a design based off of a story feels easier than making a design or making a story based off of a design. If that makes any sense, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so I got a whole superhero story, a whole universe that I'm working on. And I hope that one day I can go ahead and post it. If I do though, obviously for legal reasons, I can't like monetize it because I can't make money off of the DC characters. I mean, I could hypothetically wait till they all go public domain and use their names. Hmm, I could do that, couldn't I? And that's a lot of characters though that I yoinked from the DC universe, and I doubt all of them are going in the public domain anytime soon. But anyways, uh, I didn't even consider that. I was gonna post it anyway, but one friend told me that I should just change all of the characters, right? All the DC characters I have, change their names, change their iconic symbols, so they can be my own original characters, and I can monetize it someday. And I thought about that, and there's two reasons why that wouldn't work. One, my creative genius only goes so far. Like, I'm not the people who made Invincible, bro. Okay, like I can't come up with Darkwing and make a Batman knockoff. Like that's not my capability, right? I'm inspired by heroes to make heroes based off of heroes, like Arachno based off of Spider-Man, which I guess is the same premise. Okay, but reason number two, aside from my creative limits, is these characters that I've created were inspired by the DC universe. Arachno would not exist had I not been thinking of this DC universe conundrum. And the conundrum was the Flash, first of all, but then also I was bored at work one day and I was drawing Spider-Man as different characters, like a Jedi, Spider-Man as Hawkeye, and then I was like, is there a Spider-Man in the DC universe? Because I was on my phone and I seen the whole this person is the equivalent of this person in the other universe, those things on Google or whatever. And there wasn't really one for Spider-Man. There was one guy, and I'm gonna look him up because every time I talk about him, I never know his name, and I gotta give my guy some credit because he's a cool dude. Spider-Man equivalent DC. Is this him? Here we go. Cool looking dude, by the way. Okay, his name is Sideways. Here's the issue. People say he's a lot like Peter Parker, and I mean, on this website, Quora, the images they pulled, unless this is Spider-Man. Oh, okay, I guess I have Spider-Man in here too. But anyways, people are saying that I can't say people, I don't know how many people, but from what I've seen and read, he's essentially the Peter Parker of the DCU. But his superhero powers are nothing like Spider-Man. His suit design maybe a little bit like Spider-Man, but he's just not Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker. So I went ahead and I was like, well, that's not what I was talking about. I asked for the Spider-Man equivalent, not the Peter Parker equivalent. So I went ahead and did it myself. I made a Spider-Man of the DCU, and it's been a journey, man. It's honestly been such a fun journey. I've been drawing more. I've actually improved my drawing a little bit. I still trace heavy, but there's certain aspects that I'm getting better at. Like I can kind of make heads look a little better because I just get traces off of Google. I'm not gonna lie to you, I just get my traces off of Google. But sometimes they're just like rough shapes. So I'm getting better at drawing like heads. Like I don't know if I'm confident enough to do it on my own yet, but like if I need to fix the shape of a head, I'm confident to do that. If there's like half of a hand, I'm getting more better at drawing hands, so I can kind of make a hand if I need to, or shape a hand if I need to. Same with feet. I'm getting really good at drawing like the shape of a foot. So yeah, I just gotta work on it more. But the more I trace, the more I genuinely improve, which is really good. Because that means someday, at this rate, I can actually draw, which will be amazing. Like that's something I hope for. But yeah, so enough about the superhero story for now because I have, well, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit more. Maybe not. Anyways, I went ahead and made my Peter Parker, made my Spider Man, right? Made this guy essentially the DC equivalent of Spider Man, almost in every way. Like he is almost if Peter Parker was in the DC universe instead, but he doesn't have the same Peter Parker. Like it's not Peter Parker, and it's not Spider Man. It's Arachno, and his name is Ramon Rivers. He's got a whole suit. He's got a set of powers. He's got his backstory, and he's got a bunch of original characters. Um, it's been fun. I've been learning a little bit about the DC universe. I've been learning about character designs, and I think I'm doing really good on the whole superhero thing. Um, but yeah, so that's where that is right now. If I talk about it one day, that'll be amazing because there's just so much already to talk about, and it's not even done yet. Like that's just mind blowing. Like I have all this stuff to talk about, but I struggle to find the words, so that's why I haven't done it yet. I was going to start it like not that long ago, like the whole Arachnoverse story, but I couldn't find the words that I wanted, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is script the videos, which sounds dumb, but I can't come up with things on the spot when I'm recording because I'll pause like this and then like think about it. And then that just doesn't work if that's the whole video of me just constantly pausing like that. I can't just go ahead and go with the flow. So I'm gonna have to script it and then read the script. And then like essentially I'll script the story. Go through, proofread it, make sure it sounds good. And then I'll record myself reading it. And then I'll throw some pictures over the video. And that'll be that. Um but yeah. So until that happens, that's where that lays. Superhero universe unfinished. I mean, I gave it a name. I gave all the characters names. Like I said, I got so much down, but there's still some things missing, so it's still incomplete. But yeah, I'll stop yapping on about that now, and I'll get into something that I want to talk about. I hope you guys not just hear that, but a game platform that I think is heavily underrated and heavily overhated. Now you can disagree with me all you want, right? Go ahead, disagree. Tell me I'm wrong. Like I don't mind. It's okay to disagree, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, no, you're wrong, and I'm absolutely 100% without a doubt correct. Because how am I gonna say that? How am I gonna sit here and believe that I'm right and you're wrong? That's not very I don't know. It just isn't. That's not something that I do, right? But okay, enough about what is it. Let me just tell you, it's it's Roblox. Okay. Now hold on. Before you like click off or laugh or whatever, it's not that bad. Now, let me say, a lot of people hate Roblox for the same reason why I hated Roblox, because it's a little poopy kitty kitty gaga game, right? Like no big boys are playing this game. This game is not for us men, us manly men, right? This is for little poopy diaper kids. And you know what? You're kind of right. There are so many dog games on here, bro, that are just brain rotting games. Like they're so dumb. And I hate them, bro. With the passion, I hate them. I'm like, can you please get this off of Roblox? Anyways, enough about dogging on the game. Let me do what I was here to do and kind of not sponsor the game, but promote it in a sense, right? You like Call of Duty, right? I like Call of Duty. You like Call of Duty. We all like going pew pew from time to time. Well, have you heard of the game Frontlines? Oh, what's that? You haven't? Well, let me put you on, okay? Frontlines is Roblox's Call of Duty. Now, I got a few games I'm gonna talk about for a Call of Duty clone, right? But Frontlines has to be the first one I talk about because the graphics that the person used to make it, they're pretty dang good in my opinion. Like I'd be lying if I said, "Oh, this is bad. This is not Call of Duty." No, no, no. I have had people that know what Call of Duty looks like, that have played Call of Duty, say that, okay, yeah, the graphics are fine, but what else do they got? I had to take a sip there. I know I Call of Duty Sweatlord, right? I know what I know one singular Call of Duty Sweatlord. So I can confirm that the graphics aren't the issue. For him, it's the sensitivity. The sensitivity cannot go high enough on controller for this game, Frontlines. Another issue is their weapon selection. You get one gun. You don't get to choose what gun that is. It is one. I think it's like an SMG. I don't know my guns like that. But it's just a little pew pew gun, right? It's not a shotgun. It's not a sniper. It's not like a huge assault rifle. It's just a little pew pew SMG. Now here's the problem with this game. The only other way to get more guns is by leveling up. And you get one gun per level. And it's a different gun. It's like playing gun game, bro. Like it is wild. So it's a little sucky for that reason. But other than that, if you can set that aside and you can be comfortable with the sensitivity on a controller, or alternatively play keyboard and mouse, I think you might enjoy that game. Now, here's another kicker. Because of the graphics, you need a good system. For example, the Xbox One Dookie Dogwater takes like 5-10 minutes to load all the graphics in properly and the sounds. Why? I couldn't tell you, bro. Xbox Series S though, lickety split like that. Almost every time it is perfect and it's always loaded and right. Now, enough praising that game, because like I said, the weapons thing is the biggest flaw to me. If they added a proper weapon system where you could choose your starter gun and whatnot, like Call of Duty, how you can choose between multiple guns. Fine. Speaking of which, Bad Business. Let's talk about it. Bad Business has that. You can pick your weapon. You can customize your class. You can get skins in the game. And it's not Roblox graphics. And by Roblox graphics, I mean it's not little Lego characters running around, right? Or bootleg Lego characters running around. It's not these big old blocky dudes. It's little uh uh models, right? They're like little poly figure models. I don't know, little shaped guys, but they look decent to say the least, right? They're not horrible. And the weapons are cool, and the maps are cool, and because of the semi-low quality to the game, you can probably load this bad boy up on an Xbox One. So I mean, it's got that over the front line, and it's a fun game. Like I genuinely play that game because it's cool. I like it. I don't know what else to say besides that it's just a good game. Like it's my favorite shooter in general. Like I'll never touch Call of Duty because I like the community is just way too good at the game for somebody like me to just now try getting on it. So I won't ever. I'm bad at gun games, by the way. Like, I'm not good at bad business. I'm absolute trash at it, and I rage quit that game so many times. But I love it because it's fun and it's cool and it's unique. And the last gun game that I want to talk about is you may have heard of it. Oh my gosh, did I just start it like that, bro? You may have heard of it. Uh, Frontlines. I just said Frontlines. Oh my gosh, I'm losing it, bro. I'm losing it. No, Phantom Forces. Phantom Forces. Now there are separate Phantom Forces. There's Phantom Forces for the PC, and there's Phantom Forces for console. There might even be a Phantom Forces mobile, but I think mobile is also for PC, unfortunately. But I don't know. I can't say that, right? Because I don't genuinely know. What I do know is that that game has those blocky figures, right? Those blocky Roblox characters. But the guns are solid. Uh, Pro for that game. The maps are huge, right? There's giant maps, plenty to do. They got a proper weapon system like Bad Business does, like Call of Duty does. They got proper weapons. Um, they got the stupid loot crate system for skins, so you have to like get crates keys and then you can get skins, which I don't really like that style. But you know, if you grind games like that, then you probably will have no problem getting crates and keys. I don't really know how crates and key systems work. Um, I assume it's like a level thing. Like you get a high enough level, you get crates, you get keys, you earn them as like rewards, or you can use your coins and buy crates and keys and then get your cosmetics. But that game is full of little sweat lords, bro. I don't know whose kids are playing this game, but like, bro, you load in and everybody's dogging on you for no reason, bro. It's like they should not be going that hard on a Roblox game, but they do. Like, I don't know, man. If you're a Call of Duty player, if you can take the time to handle it, bro, load in the Phantom Forces and you tell me if it's just me or not. Because my little Call of Duty sweat lord that I know would get dogged on every day in Phantom Forces. I can promise him that. I can promise you that too. That's for the Call of Duty games. Now, I have plenty of honorable mentions in here, right? Do you like Call of Duty Zombies? I know I just said I'm done with Call of Duty, but do you like Call of Duty Zombies? Well, if you can handle a slightly toned down graphics version of Call of Duty Zombies, they got like 3 classic maps from Call. I think it's like one of the Black Ops games, but it's pretty solid. I got somebody who hates Roblox join me in that, and they said it was actually pretty solid, right? And it's free, right? If you don't have Black Ops and you want to play Black Ops Zombies, don't even worry about it, bro. They got it in here. So, my little sweat lord says it was a solid game. That proved to me that I can convert anybody. I got somebody who thought it was a little kid's game, learned about some interesting games, and said, you know what? It's kind of interesting. Okay. I want to save one game for last. So I'm not going to talk about those games, but I will, but not right now. Let me get into Five Nights at Freddy's, okay? I don't know how many Five Nights at Freddy's fans there are, but I know it's a pretty big fandom because they made a movie about it. Animatronics Help Wanted. Now, my one friend said that this is based on the VR game, um, just based on how everything is. I haven't played it. I don't even know what that is, like the VR game. But hey, if he says it's like a one-on-one, then it's a one-on-one, and it's pretty solid. Like it's like how is this in Roblox? Like I said, it's called Animatronics Help Wanted. I will go and pull like all these game cards because so I can put them in the video so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know yet if I'm gonna do gameplay for these games, but I might show images for the games. But if you don't like that version of FNAF, there's another one called FNAF Co-op. If you know the Garry's mod from like 2011 or whatever, where they were running around the big old pizzeria, running from animatronics, having to turn on generators and whatnot, it's like that. Um, you and up to like 3 friends, I think, go into the office. Once you get into the office, the game starts, and all the lights cut out, so it's pitch black. And the animatronics are on the stage, and Foxy's in a little cove. And you don't have to really leave the office unless you're the janitor, because the janitor has a perk where he cleans up things. There's messes all around. Um, that and then like to turn the generator on. Otherwise, you're in the office. You can turn the lights on, close the doors. You can be in first person, but it starts you off in third person. And yeah, if you run out of power, then all the animatronics go like super crazy and they start running around the whole place. And you can try to hide, but I guarantee you they'll find you. Another one. If you are somebody who likes FNAF but doesn't like the FNAF games, there is a game called FNAF Pizza Party. Now, this is kind of like a knockoff FNAF, right? Like the cover for it is Freddy, but the actual Freddy in the game is most definitely not Freddy, bro. Like this dude is a robot mech bear, bro. He is like a robot, like he's a tin bear, dude. He has razor sharp teeth, red glowing eyes, doesn't even have a hat. He's got spikes all over his body. Like that's not Freddy, bro. That is not Freddy Fazbear. That is like a demon, bro. But what they do in this game is you start off with a task. There's two chapters right now. But chapter one, start off with a task. Um, like go collect pizza boxes, watch out for the animatronics. They're always roaming around. They don't start off on the stage. And you once you complete that task, gotta find like wires, turn on the generators, and then survive for like a certain amount of time. Then after that, after like each wave too, like there's the new animatronic is like released. So like the first one is Bonnie running around, then it's Chica or whatever, and so on and so forth. And I haven't beaten chapter one yet. Chapter two, I don't know what game that one's supposed to be off of, but you're in like the mall or something and you get locked in. And yeah, it's also pretty easy, you know. You roam around, you do the tasks, you get the job done. But it's fun, it's different. So if you wanted FNAF, but you wanted something different, there is that game. You like Red Dead Redemption? Because I like Red Dead Redemption. There are two games that I think are solid picks for a Red Dead Redemption ripoff in Roblox. That being The Wild West and Westbound. Now, player wise, Westbound is better. It has 3,000 as of right now, as opposed to the 1.2 thousand playing the Wild West. But in my opinion, it's up to you. This is what I think. I think the Wild West is better because it has better details, better graphics, slightly more things to do, a significantly bigger map, but the map system is whack. Um, you can get robbed super easily in that game, but other than that, I think it's actually really solid and it's really fun. Westbound is like a more chill version of that. Uh, Map is smaller, graphics aren't as defined or as detailed. Um, there's not as much to do. The biggest difference is in the Wild West, everybody's out to get you. In Westbound, everybody's out to collect people trying to get their bounties up. So, you know, different player bases as well. Do you like RPG games? Because if you do, you should try Northwind. It has its own community if that makes any difference for you, but Northwind is an RPG game. I don't really know what to do. I kind of rage quit. Um, you start off with a very long tutorial, depending on what side you pick, because there's two sides that you can pick from. But the gist of the game is to explore, collect, craft, stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's pretty fun. I didn't know you could get robbed in the game though, and I also didn't know if you leave mid battle, like once you're engaged in a battle. So if somebody hits you and you don't want to die, so the way it works, if you have too much stuff on you and you die, you drop stuff, um, which is obviously something that sucks. And with the tutorial, you're constantly picking stuff up, so you're gonna have to watch your back a little bit towards the end of the tutorial because somebody can kill you and take your stuff. So I was in a cave trying to finish up my last bit of the tutorial, and some guy was attacking me, so I quit the game, right? But they penalize you for that. If you quit the game mid combat, you get penalized. They put you in this little jail, and you temporarily lose all your stuff, and you just have to wait until it spawns you outside of the little jail cell, and then you get most of your stuff back aside from what you would have dropped. So there's that. Um, a fun little game. It's called Nanny. In this game, you're either a baby or the nanny. And if you're a baby, your goal is to escape and avoid the nanny. You can hide in vents, but not for long. You will get kicked out if you sit in there too long. Not to mention, there's also like if the game's going on too long, the vents just get closed. So hurry up and get what you got to get done and get out. For the nanny, your goal is to get the babies, right? You can set traps down and stuff, whatever you got to do. If you like Dead by Daylight, there is a game called Daybreak, and it's pretty solid. Now, there's a game called Dead by Roblox, which is like quite literally the Roblox equivalent to Dead by Daylight, like same loading screen kind of style, or same like main menu and stuff. But I think Daybreak is better. Um, you got to go get your generators, right? The way this game works is there's one generator per survivor. So if there's 8 people playing your game with one killer, then there's going to be 8 generators. If there's 3 people playing your game and one killer, then there's only going to be 3 generators. Same thing applies if you're the last person alive. There's a hatch that you can go to. The way this game works, though, and somebody I played this with did not like it because they like Dead by Daylight a little bit better. But in Dead by Daylight, when you get knocked down, you can be healed. And then you can also be knocked down again, but you can be healed again, and this can keep happening until you die or whatever. I don't know how many times you can get knocked down. In Daybreak, you get knocked down once, fine. You got plenty of time to be rezzed. Like you have a long time before you die, unless you're moving around. The more you move around, the faster you die. But once you get healed, if you get knocked down again, you die. On the contrary, though, there's no hooking, right? You don't got to worry about somebody picking you up and throwing you on a hook and trying to struggle for somebody to survive or somebody to come revive you. You can just lay there and just wait. So that's the alternative. Also, there's no perks in the game. Instead, each character has an ability. So you want to unlock characters to get abilities to use. And then, yeah, otherwise it's pretty much the same. You vault. The controls are a little different. So switching back and forth between the games, I would not recommend. If you like DayZ, there's a game called Aftermath. Now, the kicker to this one, right, is this one costs money. Some games can cost money. However, it is not the craziest amount. Like for example, there's a Batman game in here that is 40 Robux. You're probably thinking 40 Robux, how much is that? Well, for 80 Robux, it's only 99 cents. So for a whole dollar, you get a Batman game. Now, is it good? I couldn't tell you. I did not spend the dollar, but I'm sure somebody has. You can probably look it up on YouTube. I'll throw it up here if I find it. But let's get to Aftermath, the one that I'm talking about, because this one I have played. I didn't buy it though. Don't worry. This game is in its alpha form, and so the creators of this game, on the weekends, they usually will have it free, meaning anybody can play it during the weekends. During the weekdays, though, they lock it in for the price. Now the price is $1.99 for 400 Robux. It's $5. I checked earlier. But yeah, so for just 200 Robux, you get this game. So essentially, you spend $5, you get 200 Robux for whatever you want, as well as you get to play DayZ. Now, I have friends that have played this, and they said it is way smoother and better, like genuinely better than DayZ. So, I mean, take that for what you will. But you got to be okay with Roblox graphics because it is Roblox graphics. The guns and the environment is not Roblox graphics. Like they got genuinely buildings and stuff. It's like a little blocky game, but the guns are like all 3D guns. They look like guns. I'll have pictures up, the pictures that they provide though, not playing the games for pictures. But yeah, if you want to spend $5, you get this game for free. Not for free, sorry, for $5, and then you get 200 Robux. So I mean, that's what you will. Let's see, In Plain Sight 2, this game, it's fun. You're either operating a camera. Let me make sure my mic's still on. Okay. I really hope this mic picked up everything because I'm an hour in again, and I would hate to waste 2 hours of my life. In Plain Sight 2, what is this game? You're either operating a camera and you're shooting criminals, or you are a criminal and you have to blend in with the NPCs. The NPCs don't move. That's the biggest thing, right? So you kind of have to stand still and hope that the camera doesn't know that you're a player. Your player does slightly move though when you stand still. So if they're looking, they're going to find you. But your goal is to steal as much stuff as you can without getting caught. What the camera does is if they spot you, they can shoot at you. If you get hit, you get downed. You can be rezzed like one time, I think, and then I think it's if you get shot again, you die. Maybe it's not. Maybe you get knocked down again, you can be rezzed. But regardless, it's a fun little game. If you like that Bigfoot game where you hunt Bigfoot, somebody made that. It's currently in its testing stage. It's in alpha, but I've played it multiple times and it's actually really fun. Um, for somebody like me who can't stand horror games, like I am terrified of everything. I'm very jumpy. It's actually kind of spooky, you know. You just hear him rumbling, and the next thing you know, he's stomping around, and you don't know where he is, and next thing you know, he's smacking you around. But when I play with friends, I'm not scared. Like it's kind of funny. He's not like the scariest model and whatnot. But you know what? It's a solid Bigfoot ripoff. Like I've watched gameplay of it, and it's not terrible. I haven't played the actual game though, so I couldn't tell you how it compares. Phasmophobia. One of the games that I so badly want for VR. There are so many knockoffs for this game in Roblox, but my favorite one is Blair. Mostly because Blair is supposed to be the Roblox Phasmophobia. They literally have it in their bio. There's another one, I think. I don't actually know what this game is, but I'm almost positive that it's supposed to be the same thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be the same thing, but it doesn't blatantly say it's a Phasmophobia knockoff. And it has significantly less players, but it's also a decent alternative. It's called Spectre 2. I'll throw that one up on the screen as well. I think that's all the games I wanted. Uh, hmm. Luigi's Mansion. If you like Luigi's Mansion, I've never played this game, but if you like Luigi's Mansion, there's a game called Ghostly Manor. Right now there's only one mode, and that's called Tower Defense mode. You can play it solo, up to 4 people or up to 6 people. Um, and you go and catch ghosts, or you have to go save the civilians, or you have to find the exit within a certain amount of time, or you have to defeat a boss. There might be other stuff I don't really remember off the top of my head, but it's a pretty solid game. Like I said, I don't know if it's exactly like Luigi's Mansion, but it's pretty fun. That's assuming Luigi's Mansion has a multiplayer mode. Here's another honorable mention that I forgot. It's called Microwave Dinner. You are a little microwave robot. Your goal: collect food, explore, get upgrades. I don't know. I'll show you some pictures, but I think you should really explore this game for yourself because it's honestly unique. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a unique, fun little uh like a puzzle platforming game. Um, I'm really racking up the time. I have been talking way longer than I did last time. A basketball game called Hoop Nation. I can't tell you it's the most popular right now, but it's the one that I play. Now, this game kind of sucks, right? It gets buggy. You either get lucky or you don't. So there's a lot of servers on there. So when you go into the game, you go to park or matchmaking. You go to the matchmaking servers, it's just a bunch of little 1v1s. If you go to the park, it's 1v1s, 2v2s, or 3v3s. Some servers, though, they're just broken, right? By broken, I mean they lag. Sometimes the ball falls to the ground and you just have to wait. Sometimes you'll pass the ball to a teammate and it'll just fly right through them and then it'll be the other person's ball out of nowhere. But when it's working, it's kind of fun. Now, there's some sweat lords in that game, okay? Like they spam every button to like try to make you break your ankles and then they shoot on you and then you're like, well, this game sucks because how did they shoot on me? Blah blah blah. Right, that's me. I get mad a lot. But it is, in my opinion, still the best Roblox basketball game that I've played. I only played like 3 though, but it's fun. It's definitely needs work, but it says it's fully released, so I'm hoping that I can find a better basketball game. But I am waiting for some more basketball games to, I guess, to play. Right? These are the basketball games that I just haven't played. Same with football. There's a game called Ultimate Football. My friends that love playing Madden played this with me, and while they like raged the entire time, they still played it. Like they never once got off of it. So I think it's safe to assume they enjoyed it a little bit, considering that they also yell the whole time they're playing Madden. So you know what? Take that as you will. Try it out yourself. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm not a football fan. Another honorable mention: Abyssal. What is Abyssal? It is a parkour game that you can play solo or with friends. If you play solo, you just go ahead, do your parkour, and enjoy the scenery, really. If you want to go the co op route, you don't even have to do anything different, right? You just go into the server and there'll be people running around. If you're by a friend or random player or NPC, the little thing on your back, which could be a cape, wings, a ring, a square, probably a diamond, I don't know. But whatever's on your back will glow. When it's glowing, that means you have one double jump. When you double jump, it fades away, right? It loses all its color until you're by another player or an NPC. So there's some parts where you have to actively double jump, and it'll have a little symbol showing that you need one person to get the reward. And so you can either find a random player to do it with you, you can get your friends to do it with you. That's it. It's a fun little parkour game. It's got nice music. I mean, it's got a rewind feature, so like if you fall down, you can rewind, which is cool. We have to collect energy orbs. There's small energy orbs, there's big energy orbs. Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the pictures. I think it's fun. I think it's unique. I think it's cool. I'm waiting for them to update it. They are currently only have 5 floors. The floors are massive, by the way. Game took us like me and my buddies like a couple hours probably to beat it. So I'm waiting for them to update it for floor 6. I'm gonna speed run some more because I'm running out of time and I want to talk about this one game still. If you know Night of the Consumers, there's a game that's kind of like a knockoff of that. Same graphic style though. When you're playing solo, when you're playing with friends, you can see everybody's character models are just the Roblox characters, but otherwise it's the style of the Night of the Consumers. It's called Stock Up. Instead of stocking shelves and avoiding customers before you run out of time, in this game you have to go into the store and avoid being detected by the store employees and stealing stuff and getting out by a certain amount of time. If you get caught by the employee, you have to outrun the manager, which is obviously faster than you, so you have to use your boxes and throw it at him to knock him down. Um, if you're like me, a total G, you can strategize and have 2 boxes, and you throw the one box at him. You run around the little aisle. He'll follow you. You pick up another box, throw it at him. Run around, pick up the box, wait for him to come around, throw it at him. Eventually, he goes away, and yeah, when he's chasing you, the store employees don't bother you. When he's not chasing you, the store employees will chase after you. That's something you should keep in mind. That's a fun game. The Flash. There's so many Flash games on here. A good handful of them are actually good. So I recommend looking for a Flash game if you like the Flash. My friend loves the Flash, knows that there's no solid Flash games out there, but he thinks it's actually a pretty solid Flash game. He doesn't care if there's not much to do. He'll run around there for a long time, just running around. Now I can get into the game I want to talk about because this game is honestly pretty impressive to me. And if you've noticed the gameplay of Sonic, well, that's because it's in Roblox. Now I know what you're thinking. What? This game's in Roblox? Yeah, dude. If I actually did what I'm saying I'm doing and put Roblox or put the Sonic game up there, then yeah, you've been watching me play Roblox this whole time. That's if I do it. I don't actually know if I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to. I think I'm going to. Sonic Speed Simulator. It's exactly what it sounds like. You just run around as Sonic. Now, you start off as your own character, right? Your own Roblox avatar. But Sonic's right in front of you. You walk up to him, you do his couple quests, which is like doing a time trial, fighting a boss. Boss fights are kind of easy. And then you get to unlock Sonic. And once you unlock Sonic, you get to be Sonic, run around as Sonic. It goes on from there. There's like little pets you can get in the game. I'll show you. Um, they give you benefits. There's trials you can unlock to give you benefits. Running and leveling up your character gives you benefits. So yeah, you just run around in different worlds. It's really fun, really addictive. I don't know why. It's so simple, but I just end up spending hours running around in this game. Not even necessarily doing the quests. Sometimes I just run around just to do it. Um, but I don't know. I think it's really fun and interesting. And you can race players, friends or strangers. Not with cars, but with your feet and stuff. But it's pretty cool. Pretty solid game. Um, definitely recommend that game. Um, if you like the classic Sonic game, the little retro arcade looking one, somebody made a classic Sonic simulator, and it is actually really good. Like when you play it, it's like wow, this is in Roblox right now. Somebody, it's almost as if somebody just ported it into Roblox, but that's like kind of impressive, I think. Now I don't know how Roblox's game engine works, but to be able to do something like that, I feel like that takes some time, you know. Like I said though, I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong, but that's something I just had to mention. And if you like Sonic from 2006, there is currently somebody working on this game called Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, which is the Sonic the Hedgehog game from 2006. Now, so far, they don't have a whole lot. At least when I last played it, all they had was the animations down, the character model down, and part of the map that you start in. They also had the title screen, so when you load into it, it's almost as if you're loading into the actual game. So you load in, you pick your character, um, and right now the story mode, they don't have it finished. So when you spawn into the story mode, there's other players running around. It's more so a testing field, um, but it's the same spawning in map. So I watched a YouTube video to make sure that I wasn't tripping. Right, I was like, is this actually accurate? Yes, it actually is accurate. For what they have. So the character animations are, from what I've seen, like one on one. Character model looks to be one on one. The NPC that you talk to is a Roblox NPC, so that's not accurate at all. But I'm sure they'll fix that in the future. There's no water, so if you jump off the edge of like the bridge or something, you're just gonna fall through the world and spawn back in the beginning. But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I can't wait for them to finish it because I've never played Sonic 2006, but I will if it's in Roblox for free. And there's plenty of Sonic games. Like man, you can find so many Sonic games. But yeah, that is me talking about Roblox, and something I tell everybody is you just gotta find your game, right? I guarantee you there's a game that you will probably like in Roblox, and if there's not, then I'm sorry I made you waste your time. But I hope that there is because I think it's unique that I can find so many games that I enjoy playing on Roblox. They're all free. I don't have to download more games to my consoles. I don't have to go spend money. They're just all right here. But yeah, I hope I convinced you. If you sticked around to the end, thank you. Honestly, thank you because I know I'm probably annoying, but I appreciate you for that, and I hope you'll tune in again. Um, yeah, I don't really know how to end this. I don't even really remember how I started this. Oh, I started this the same way I started the one that I felt. So let me go listen to how I ended it last time, because I ended it like a boss. Not really, but you know what? Who cares, right? But enough about Roblox. Yeah, end it, bro. I just said the same thing. That's crazy. Yeah, before we would end it, I'm saying as if you can also hear this. I might as well just turn this up, right? Let me just rewind it a little bit. I kept getting killed by players, but it's a fun little game. But enough about Roblox. I've been talking for yeah, enough about Roblox, right? Half the time it's just me talking to myself. Sometimes I get my friends to include their party audio. Okay, I'm talking about stream at that point. I don't know. I honestly could not be bothered to listen to that anymore. Yeah. So um, I don't know. I guess I hope you, if if you stuck around, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you continue to stick around and hang out. Give me some questions if you want. Give me a game to check out on Roblox because I'm broke, or even on Fortnite. I play Fortnite. Lego Fortnite's pretty chill. All the game modes on Fortnite, they seem pretty chill for the most part. So I'll play some Fortnite. I'll play some Roblox. I stream too, so if you want to go ahead and follow me on Twitch in my YouTube bio, then go ahead, man. Check me out. Come hang out. read my chat every time. The only comments I don't respond to are those bot comments that tell me like, "Hey, you should follow this person." Like I intentionally ignore those because I just know they're fake. And if they're not fake, why are you coming into a stream with no viewers promoting somebody else? Like, bro, what? I don't know. And I've thought about doing that, like promoting myself on like big streamers chats, but that just seems so disrespectful, disingenuine. I don't know. I could never do that because it just seems rude. Like, why am I trying to steal somebody else's audience? I want to find. I just hit the mic, but I want to find my audience. I hope the audio sounded good because my microphone was like under my mouth, and now it's like not. But I want to find my audience, and I want my audience to find me. But I've been talking for a while, so I'm really just gonna end this, man. And if you did listen to this, thank you. And I hope I will get to talk for you again. But for now, oh wait, no, hold on, sorry. I swear there was something cool that I said at the end. May not have been cool, but it is something. That would just be solo. God, my voice sucks. From my friend and but come on, say it. What did I say? So I guess that's where I'm gonna leave this. I gotta come up with a catchphrase, so I'm gonna try something here. Yes. I hope you enjoyed this typically average podcast. And I, as always, have been your typically average host. And I hope you have a typically average day. No, that last bit was just added. That was really rude. I hope you have a great day. Don't just have a good day. Have a great day. Stay safe.